Welcome back. So in this second part, we're not gonna discuss more closely how does Sailor Moon works as a show, like the magical anime girl trope. How, even though it was kind of cheesy for its time, it's still kind of an okay show because of its underlying story arc and those beautiful controversies of Sailor Moon that were just like mwah back in the day. So first, let's discuss what is the anime girl. This is how the magical trope girl goes. So there's a girl and she's not good at anything, and then she finds the MacGuffin creature and it gives her the MacGuffin thing, and then it transforms her into a thing because magic. And then there is some evil thing that it's menacing the town and it wants to get something because magic. And then the girl finds it, and then most likely it's gonna be like some guy that it's gonna come and cheer her on, and he will do literally nothing, and then he will leave, and then the girl will defeat the bad guy of the week because magic. And then the episode will end. Usually throughout the episode we will see animation of her transforming into kind of a sexual animation, and her giving the same attack to the bad guy, and it's gonna be the same attack every week. This thing will repeat itself for around 20 episodes, where all of a sudden we will discover that there was an arc, and throughout this 20 episodes this girl is gonna find some other 5 girls that will go to the same kind of transformation, and they're always chosen once because magic. And they're gonna make a team, and it's gonna be an all-girl team, and they're gonna destroy the thing, and all of a sudden the world is gonna be safe, and either one of two things is gonna happen. If the show continues, they're gonna keep their powers, and if the show ends, it will be most likely the case that they will lose their powers because magic. So the thing about this format of the show, I compare it to the Power Rangers on the last video, because it repeats itself over and over and over. They use the same pieces of animation. The enemy is the same all the time. It's always some nameless creature that will fail. And the really big baddie will reveal itself in like the last 3 episodes of the season. And then we're gonna have like some sort of growth or some story arc. And this happens with shows like Sailor Moon, Power Rangers, and most of the magical girl trope kind of show. But even if Sailor Moon had this hilariously stupid formula, was it still at least engaging to watch? Yes. See, the thing about the first Sailor Moon show, as silly as it was, is that it was designed to sell toys. Not the original comic, but like the show. The original show was designed to sell toys. It was designed to sell Sailor Moon's disguises, Sailor Moon wands, Sailor Moon brooches, Sailor Moon dolls. It was all Sailor Moon. I had a lot of Sailor Moon toys at the time that I have sadly thrown all away. But the story on itself was compelling. The reason why it was told this way, besides also selling toys, was that it was designed for very small children. So you need them to see the thing, become in love with the thing, get used to the thing, and then you kind of leave the story behind. So now that we know that the show Sailor Moon is designed to work like this, how can I say that it's still kind of a fun show to watch and kind of engaging? Because it's one of the best sci-fi movies Okay, it's not. It's not one of the best sci-fi stories I've ever seen. But it's a very complete one and kind of engaging. So the story of Sailor Moon is as it follows. The story centers around Usagi Tsukino, that is your klutzy stupid girl. And then she gets powers through a cat named Luna. And then she becomes Sailor Moon and has to fight evil and blah. But as it turns out, actually, Usagi used to be Princess Serenity, a princess from the moon. The moon, when it used to be a kingdom made of crystal in the past, thousands of years ago. But then she fell in love with Prince Endymion from the earth, and their relationship was a super big no-no, and they both got killed, and then they were sent to be reincarnated in the present, where they're both trying to fell in love again, where she is Usagi and he is Mamoru Shiba, and they kind of don't like each other, and it's kind of a rom-com, but then they totally like each other. And there's magic as well. While the original Sailor Moon was very much about putting Sailor Moon in the action and stuff, the original story was a cross-start lovers story about Sailor Moon and Prince Endymion. And it's a really sweet one. It's not very, what can I say, like new or complex, but it is compelling in the sense that you really feel bad for them. You really feel their relationship, their happiness at being re-encountered after so many years on Earth. You see the sacrifices that they were made by her friends that also are reincarnations. And then when the story moves forward, because like I said, it is good in the sense that it doesn't stay stuck there. Like, they're not just always trying to remember who they were and trying to identify. Like once they find themselves, it moves on more quickly. They accept that they are reincarnations, that they come from the past, and that they're here to do bigger and better things. And then we find out that they have to save the galaxy, and they save it as a group. And then, as it turns out, Sailor Moon in the future will become a queen that will save Earth and will make it into a really peaceful place and pretty much render everyone immortal. So it does try to portray its protagonist in a really good light, that even though she's a ditzy girl, she will become a fearless leader, and she and her love are like the one true love, and they will go through all the trials and go above them all. So even though it is very cliche, it is compelling and it is very fun to watch. But like I said, about the original show, it was extremely controversial. And it wasn't controversial because it had girls in the front row. Oh, no. It was controversial for a lot of reasons. So the first and one of the most well-known controversies of Sailor Moon is that they were lesbians on the show. Oh yeah, with so many girls, it was bound to happen. Come on, there were even guys that were gays. They're like, come on. If you know anything about Sailor Moon at all, you will most likely know that Sailor Saturn and Sailor Uranus were a couple. And in the new show that they made, Sailor Moon Crystal, yeah, they're totally just a couple. One of them is a very butch kind of girl, the other one is very feminine, but they're both girls, they're lesbians. This did not happen in the original one. In the original one, they kind of left very heavy hints that they were a couple, and that they were together, that they only had each other, but it was never really clear, at least not as it is in the new show or in the comic. For instance, in the new show, Sailor Uranus totally flirts with Usagi, and they kissed at one point because she wants to separate her from her boyfriend. And you know, it's like a weird drama behind all these characters. In the original one, we did not have such luxury. And if you lived in the United States, you got the really censored version, because in the United States, not only did they eliminate most of the lesbian relationship, they made them cousins.
Oh, look! Here come Amara and Michelle.
Oh, great. Why do you think they've entered the contest?
They're girls and cousins, too.
How'd you guys meet then?
We're cousins. We grew up together.
Huh?
We've been inseparable since we were born. We can almost read each other's minds.
Like best friends?
Seems so long ago, my first kiss.
Not for me, Amara. Huh? It feels like it was yesterday. It was so magical. Oh. I remember it vividly. It was with Brad, the cutest guy in the school.
Why? Because lesbians. So this was a very well-known controversial thing about the show, that it had lesbians on it. And me as a child, I really cannot remember how much censored it was here in Mexico. They, like I said, in the show as it is already, it wasn't that graphic. They never really kissed, they never really talked, but it was very heavily inclined that, you know, Sailor Uranus, that her one true partner was Sailor Saturn, and that was very heavy hinted. And I do remember seeing that as a child, thinking like, oh my god, they totally love each other. And I did thought about it, and I had no issues with that, because they were very much in love and they could only rely on each other. They were like also very tragic figures in the show. But yeah, one of the most hilarious things I think is that the United States was just like, oh, they're cousins. No, it's fine, girls. It's fine, girls. It's fine that they're kissing in the mouth. They're cousins. They're from the South. The other thing that was controversial about the show, and this one was weird for me even as a kid, was the Sailor Starlights. These were the last Sailor Scouts to be introduced in the show. And, well, look at them. Look at those booty shorts, those long legs and beautiful hair. They look pretty, right? They're men.
¡Poder de lucha estelar! ¡Transformación!
They're men.
¡Poder de curación estelar! ¡Transformación!
They're men.
¡Poder de creación estelar! ¡Transformación!
¡La Sailor Starlight! ¡Ha llegado!
So the thing with them is that they were actually girls in drag. That's how they were in the comic. They would be girls that were hiding on Earth because they were sailors from some galaxy, and they would disguise as boys just so that they couldn't be found as easily. But in the anime, for some really bizarre reason, they made them genetically boys. And then when they transformed, they would stop being boys and become girls that were Sailor Scouts. But in all other instances, they were boys. To me, this was actually really confusing as a girl, because it was like, are they magic? Are they really boys or are they really girls? And it was really weird. So yeah, back in the day, this was really controversial because transgenders. But oh, and also we had a lesbian alert here. Yeah, we had a lesbian alert because one of the guys of the Starlights had a crush on Usagi. Lesbians are a no-no. So they decided that they would be boys, so the crush would look less awkward. Then after that last story arc, the story ends with Sailor Moon having saved the universe, and all her friends are surrounded her, and her boyfriend is there, and they get married, and then they save the Earth. As a show, Sailor Moon is not a bad show, and I said this in the last video, I think. It's not bad, but it's also not good, but it is very entertaining. Especially if you have like that nostalgia book. if you feel a bit curious about it, I kind of do recommend the new one over the old one, even though my nostalgia bug in me is screaming no. It does go faster. It does show a bit more of the story rather than the formulaic animation and the repetition of all the stuff. So I do recommend seeing the new one. It's available in Crunchyroll. And if you're interested in seeing the hilariousness of the old dubbing and the Power Ranger kind of show format, then of course I recommend you going checking out the old one. I really don't know where you can see that one. I haven't checked if it's on Crunchyroll or another anime Steam streaming system. I will need to check that out. But overall, what I wanted to say about Sailor Moon and shows that are now being regarded as nostalgic is that they have inspired us as grown-ups. Like, yes, maybe we saw things that they weren't there, or that we as kids imagined, but they made us think that we could be better, which I think it's a very cute thing. So before I finish this video, let me know about your heroes when you were a child. How did they inspire you to become better? If you stopped liking them, why did you stop liking them? And what do you think about my ponytails? Yeah, I had a discussion with myself whether or not I should have ponytails, but then I was like, girl, it's a Sailor Moon video. You need ponytails. So thank you very much for watching. I wanted to do the Mexican movie history video this week, but I was quite busy, so I didn't have time to do a lot of the research that I needed to do, so I will leave that one for next week. And tomorrow day is the 16th of September. No, tomorrow is the 15th, but at night we celebrate the 16th of September, which is Independence Day here in Mexico. And given that we did have a very rough week here in Mexico, I will leave the links in the description below for donations for either the relief for the earthquake here in Mexico, or any of the people that got hurt by either Hurricane Irma or Hurricane Katia, which both hit not only the coast of Mexico but the coast in the United States. And there's a lot of people that need a lot of support in this really trying times. So hopefully you will join me next week for the movie history episode, and after that we will be discussing some Mexican movies, so hope you enjoy. See you next time.